If you live in a city, it's likely the value of your home is protected by both the government and developers. But what happens to the protection when what's underground has more value than what's on top of the ground? Fox 4's Paul Adrian takes up that issue in this news station investigation.
People in subdivisions are used to rules determining everything from paint color to tree number. Although that can be a tad frustrating, it is also reassuring because of what it keeps out.
This is my miniature rose garden here.
It's not the flowers that got Madge Fisher in trouble.
And it does get weeds in it. It's got weeds in it right now. I mean, you know, right here, there's a few weeds in there. But I don't think anybody's garden is weed-free.
But Fisher says her subdivision's management company told her the weeds were too high. And furthermore, this violation notice ordered Fisher to move her boat.
I don't have a boat. I'd like to have a boat, but I don't have a boat.
The Joshua Meadows subdivision has lots of rules.
This was supposed to be a pad for the trailer.
He had a special bill.
Yeah.
The deed restrictions prohibited Woody McCullum from keeping his camper on the pad built along with his home.
We've found other uses for it, but the thing is we had to pay an extra $30 every month to put our camper in storage.
The restrictions protect the neighborhood's value, which is why you might think that while looking for long grass or a stray leisure craft, the management company would have noticed this. Especially since the neighborhood's original deed restrictions prohibited oil or gas derricks.
The homeowner association looked at the covenant, looked at the restrictions. I bought what I bought. And now it's like, you know, bait and switch. That's what ticked me off so bad.
The homeowners had more protection from gas wells than just a deed restriction. The city also prohibited drilling. Joshua Meadows is a neighborhood clearly zoned for residential use. This is the city's attorney on the gas company's drilling.
They do not have any zoning authority for that particular site.
So how did a gas well show up in the subdivision? Chesapeake Energy's Steve Campbell says his company had permission to drill from the subdivision's developer.
It was with Sandlin.
But what about those deed restrictions? Sandlin Homes purchased the development from Heritage Property Development, another developer. Turns out the restrictions changed in 2003, shortly before the subdivision sold. A lot of rules were added, but the drilling prohibition disappeared. Homeowners say they discovered that change when the rig showed up. They filed a lawsuit against both developers, claiming deceptive trade practice.
We're about to spend $25,000 for a private attorney to go and protect our rights and our when we shouldn't have to do that.
Neither developer would talk to us on camera, but off camera, Walter Mize of Heritage Property Development called the lawsuit frivolous. And current developer Mike Sandlin says he's not responsible for changing the rules, but as a majority landowner, had the right to do so if he wanted. Sandlin says he now warns all purchasers about the possibility of drilling. But residents point out they still should have been protected from a gas well by city law.
That's the reason we have deed restrictions. That's the reason we have city ordinances. That's the reason we have laws. And that's the reason we have the Constitution of the United States, is to protect the private property of the citizens.
But Campbell says before Chesapeake Energy did anything here, it asked the city for permission.
How did the city respond when you went to them and asked them for a permit to drill in that location? Didn't have a problem whatsoever.
In fact, the city council gave Chesapeake a drilling permit.
There was no discussion really on the zoning ordinance or anything like that. We assumed as a body that this was all worked out prior.
But city manager Paul Waldrop says both he and Chesapeake overlooked the city's zoning rules.
They're in the business, so I would think they would know these things.
That's when a fine was levied on us. By the city. By the city.
That's right. Chesapeake got fined by Joshua for drilling, even though Joshua had given Chesapeake a drilling permit.
Chesapeake stepped up to the plate. We said, look, we want to be good neighbors. We'll pay a fine, and plus we donated about $35,000 to the community to utilize any way they'd like.
That got the drill bit going again, and council members thinking about rewriting their zoning rules.
I love the garden. That's my thing.
So in Joshua Meadows, don't let your grass grow too long. But if you want to put up a drilling rig, well, that's another matter. One of the residents we spoke with, Rusty Rye, is on the city's Planning and Zoning Commission. He helped point out the city's mistake regarding the zoning. But the mayor has asked Rye to step down from his position, saying he's involved in the homeowner lawsuit against the developer who will continue to do business with the city, and that might leave the city open to future litigation. Paul Adrian, Fox 4 News.
Want to comment about this story? Call the